Gabby Douglas once said, every champion was once a contender that didn't give up. This made me think of my college career. I graduated college about a year and a half ago, where I spent 4 years playing basketball for my team. During my senior year of college, they started a lacrosse team, which is a sport that I've never played, but I decided to get a wild hair and join the team, just to try something new. When I first started, I was pretty bad, to say the least. I couldn't catch a ball, I couldn't run with the ball in my net. Everyone would just trip me up and stuff during games. We lost every game by about 20 points that season, so it wasn't great, because most of the team didn't know what they were doing either. I graduated college that year, but then decided to go back for a 5th year to finish my minor, and decided to join the lacrosse team for 1 more year to give it another chance. That year I would spend time after practice and before practice throwing the ball against the wall to try to be able to at least catch it. I got to the point where I could catch the ball, and then I got to the point where I could run with the ball, and then I got to the point where I could actually do some pretty cool moves and eventually score. We ended up winning most of our games that season, and we actually ended up winning the conference championship that year. There were only 3 teams in our conference, but a win is still a win in my opinion. And that is how I believe that every champion was once a contender that did not give up.
All right, Katie, so I'm going to ask you 3 different questions. Your first question is your current events question. Recently, many hip-hop rap artists have been releasing country songs and albums, the most recent being Post Malone. What are your thoughts on this and the potential impact it can make on the Western world?
Personally, I am a huge fan of the country music that Post Malone has been putting out, so I have to say that I'm really impressed by the fact that non-country artists are starting to dive into that world and try to integrate Western way of life and then the non-Western people, because I've had a lot of friends that weren't necessarily Western at all, and they've been kind of getting into country music, and eventually maybe they'll start coming to rodeos, and I think it'll just help branch out a lot.
And your second question is your personality question. What is a quote you live by?
I don't think anyone else has said this quote. It's something I always tell myself. When we were in the backstage, I was telling myself, because speeches are nerve-wracking, but I was kind of just telling myself, what's going to happen is going to happen. You can either come out here and do amazing, then that's great. You can come out here and mess up. Everyone's still being really supportive, and the other girls have been amazing. So you just take what you can get.
And your last question is your rodeo question. There have been recent instances in 2024 where rodeo contestants have been flagged out on what they deem should have been a qualified ride. What this has brought recent discussion on the need for instant replay at rodeos. What are some pros and cons of requiring instant replay opportunities if a challenge on a call occurred?
I personally cannot think of any cons to this. As an athlete myself, an instant replay can be very beneficial just to make sure everything's fair and that all the rules have been followed. I know that as an athlete myself, if there was ever a possible missed call, I would definitely want the refs to go back and check it, so I just think it's a good thing, and I don't personally think there's any cons to that.
Thank you so much, Katie.